Hello, today we'll be discussing about acne or pimples, whichever way is fine. Okay, so first here we're gonna look at the anatomy of the skin. It's not in depth, but it is sufficient. It is sufficient to understand how acne is caused and the pathology of acne. So here we have a hair follicle, and this is the basal layer of our epidermis or the stratum basalis, and this would be the stratum corneum. Okay, and everything in between is obviously the epidermis. So here we have a sweat duct or a sebum duct right here, and here we have the hair follicle. Okay, so pimples or acne is more prominent in adolescence or teenagehood, and that is because this is when our body begins to produce a hormone known as androgen. So what androgen does, it increases sebum production and it causes hyperkeratosis. So what this means is that androgen, which is a hormone, so let me just get this color here. So this hormone right here will come and bind to receptors in the sebum area. They will cause hyperkeratosis, so they will increase the keratin production, and keratin is nothing but the thing found in your nails. So imagine you have a keratin plug blocking your sebum ducts right here. So this sebum cannot drain into the hair follicle, right? So this sebum that's in here cannot drain into the hair follicle. So what happens is that this sebum backs up, and to make matters worse, androgen, it causes hyperkeratosis and blocks the sebum duct. This androgen also causes increased sebum production. So we have more sebum being produced. Right here, we have more sebum being produced. Now this duct is gonna enlarge. Now this sebum has nowhere to go because the androgen has blocked the duct. So what ends up happening is that this sebum splits open here, right? So we have sebum flowing all around the hair follicle, and our new friend called as a bacteria. Does anyone know? Propionobacterium actines. This bacteria right here, Propionobacter actines, it comes in. So this is our little bacteria. Comes in. This is our little propionobacteria. It comes in and it breaks down this sebum into inflammatory mediators. So the bacteria comes in. This bacteria comes in and it breaks down the sebum into inflammatory mediators by proteins. Well, they are proteins, but more specifically by enzymes, which they have called as lipases. Okay, called as lipases. So I hope you got through this understanding so far. So now that we have these inflammatory mediators being produced, they will cause massive destruction of the hair follicle. So this is what will happen right here. So now that our inflammatory mediators have been produced, we have massive vasodilation, we have fluid being leaked in, we have cells dying, we have injury to the cells, and all this accumulates just beneath the skin in a little nodule or a little papule form, and this is what we call as a pimple, right? So this is what we call as a pimple or acne vulgaris. Okay, and I hope this was helpful. Pimples are generally easy, well, not easy, but they're on your face every day, and you don't. Sometimes we tend to let the things that we see every day slide or don't understand it. But this was generally a brief introduction of pathology of pimples or acne vulgaris, and yeah, I hope that was helpful. So now that we've understood the pathology of pimples, we now have to think of how they are treated. Okay, so remember the main thing that was happening with acne vulgaris or pimples is that we had a blockage in the sebum. A bacteria came in, changed that sebum into inflammatory mediators, which damaged the skin, forming a little raised lesion known as a pimple. So there are two main treatments for pimples, and one of them includes preventing the keratosis in the first place, or treating the keratosis. So it is known by doctors that there is a vitamin that decreases the keratosis in cells, and this vitamin is vitamin A. Vitamin A. So doctors will generally give isotretinoin, which is a form of vitamin A, and this will decrease the keratosis of the cells and prevent the pimples. So isotretinoin. Okay. The second way we can treat pimples is by treating the organism that forms the inflammatory mediators in the first place, and we generally give an antibiotic for that, and the antibiotic is benzoyl peroxidase. Okay, so these are the two general treatments you need to know for pimples for USMLE, and I hope that was helpful.